Good afternoon, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. We are here on Agenda Free TV. And if you're watching on YouTube, Agenda Free TV too, we are bringing you, this is our live news roundup. We're going to talk about a bunch of different news stories that are happening today and take your comments on the air. You can write to me on Twitter, at Lookner on Twitter. I want to hear from you. We're going to be reading your comments. And big thanks to our moderators who are with us. Oops, hang on a second here. Trying to do something here. Trying to get the Periscope chat on the air. Is that working or not? Here we go. Yeah, I want to hear your comments. And thanks to all of our moderators in our chat rooms. Appreciate it. Thank you, mods. Okay, I want to start. Let's start by talking about what's going on in the UK, which some of you maybe heard about. Let's see here. Look. So we were talking about this yesterday, but yesterday we were seeing reports that Boris Johnson might tighten Christmas restrictions in the UK because there is a new strain in the UK that the UK government is now saying that this strain is spreading faster than earlier strains. So new strain in the UK. It's largely in the UK. It's in some other countries too, but largely in the UK. And the UK says it's spreading faster than typical strains do. Not that it's more dangerous, not that it's more deadly. There's no evidence of that. Not that the vaccine won't work on it. There's no evidence of that yet. But it does spread faster, is what the UK is saying. So they have tightened some rules, especially for London and southeast England. And you can see here it says rules tightened. The planned relaxation of COVID rules for Christmas has been scrapped for large parts of southeast England and cut to just Christmas Day for the rest of England, Scotland, and Wales. From midnight tonight, a new Tier 4 will be introduced in areas including London, Kent, Essex, and Bedfordshire. Or Bedfordshire? Bedfordshire? I never know how to pronounce this. Bedfordshire? That says sheer. Bedfordshire or Bedfordshire. Okay. Those in Tier 4, so London in these other areas, cannot mix indoors with anyone not from their household. So basically, if you're in London or these other areas in southeast England, you're not allowed to mix indoors with anyone not from your household. Nobody coming over for Christmas. Okay. New tiers from 20th December. See, the red area, which includes London, that's where there's no household mixing. No mixing with somebody not in your household. No mixing indoors with anyone not from your household. The Prime Minister announced the changes at a Downing Street briefing after scientists said a new coronavirus variant was spreading more rapidly. So again, the UK government is saying that this new strain of coronavirus, which is mostly in the UK, it's in some other countries, but mostly it's in the UK, is spreading more rapidly than previous strains. Okay, let's see here. Let me show you a different article here. This is from the, it says Christmas canceled for millions. That's the Telegraph article. Christmas canceled for millions. Prime Minister places swaths of country in Tier 4 lockdown. It comes a day after the Prime Minister said it would be inhuman to cancel Christmas plans. Boris Johnson effectively canceled Christmas for more than 16 million people in the sense that they can't mix with people from other households indoors. Boris Johnson effectively canceled Christmas for more than 16 million people on Saturday by placing them under fresh draconian lockdown measures to combat a new, more infectious strain of coronavirus. By the way, I have not heard that this new strain is in the U.S. I have not heard that that's the case. Oh, thank you, Chippy Neal. Chippy Neal is in the UK. I appreciate your support, Chippy Neal. And Chippy Neal says, yes, I'm in Tier 4 as of tonight in East Sussex. So Chippy Neal is in one of these areas where you're not even allowed to have do any indoor mixing with somebody from another household. Thanks, by the way, also Mr. Showtime and TL. Thank you, Mr. Showtime and TL, for your support. The Prime Minister announced that people living in London and eastern and southeast England would no longer be able to spend Christmas with people outside their household by putting them into a new Tier 4 set of restrictions. Some 16.4 million people currently living in these areas will, from Sunday, on Sunday it starts, effectively return to the lockdown rules enforced in November, although people will be allowed to go to church. Previous plans in England to allow so-called 5-day Christmas bubbles were also scrapped for the rest of England, with those living in tiers 1, 2, and 3 allowed to gather with 3 households for Christmas Day only. Boris Johnson, who faced fury among Tory MPs on Saturday night for imposing the new restrictions, told the nation we cannot continue with Christmas as planned after he was presented with new scientific evidence suggesting a new variant strain of coronavirus was up to 70% more transmissible. So the UK, we were looking at this yesterday, but if you go to Worldometer, and you look up England, or UK, I'm sorry, and you look at cases. So my understanding is that the cases here came down when they instituted a lockdown. And then they took off the lockdown, and cases have been going up, but they've been going up in some parts very rapidly. And so it is believed that at least some of this rise here, recent rise, is due to this new strain, which spreads faster. Again, Boris Johnson was presented with new scientific evidence suggesting a new variant strain of coronavirus was up to 70% more transmissible. This is in the Telegraph. In Tier 4, where you're which includes London, where you're not going to be allowed to mingle with anyone from another household indoors, non-essential shops will be shut from Sunday, denying millions the chance to do your Christmas shopping. So in London, no non-essential shops will be open. Okay. The new restrictions raise the prospect of police officers knocking on people's doors over the festive period to check that the rules are not being broken, although officials said they expected the police not to enforce the rules on Christmas Day very heavily. The new strain of the virus, called VUI 2020-1201, has only been detected in 2 other countries, says the Telegraph. Britain notified the WHO of the new strain late on Friday so that other countries could take their own measures to combat it. Government screening had found that 43% of coronavirus cases were the new strain in the southeast, rising to 59% in the east of England and 62% in London. And then the government's chief scientific advisor said the big change is not the disease's progress, not the immunity, but transmission. This virus strain spreads more easily, and therefore more measures are needed to help keep it under control. Again, no evidence yet that this new strain is more harmful or that the vaccine won't work on it, but the evidence is suggesting to the UK officials that it spreads more fast. People in Tier 4, which includes London, can now only meet 1 other person outside of their home, down from 6. And nobody outside their home nobody outside their home indoors. Okay. I'll show you some other stuff on this as well. So give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts on this. It'll be interesting to see if this new strain starts appearing in more countries. Where is... Hang on one second here. Don Pratt says, wow, just keeps getting better and better. Now, on the other hand, there's positive news with the vaccines. The U.S. just approved a second vaccine yesterday. UK, the Telegraph reported that the UK is close to approving the Oxford vaccine. And the Telegraph was reporting yesterday, we were reading that on the air, that the UK, once, if they approve the Oxford vaccine, once they approve that, like in a week or so, you're going to have these. The Telegraph was saying that UK is planning a mass vaccination campaign with in stadiums. So the vaccinations could really pick up in the UK in the coming weeks and months if they approve the Oxford vaccine. But that's the good news. The bad news is you have this new strain. Marie Whitmore says, Christmas is not canceled there because people can celebrate at home. For me, Christmas is in the heart, not a commercial holiday. Well, also, there's the sense of for some people, Christmas to them is having other people come over the house. But in London and these other areas of Southeast England now, you're not going to be allowed to do that. Linda Payne says, Boris knew on Wednesday and never said anything then in a new tier 2. Dolce Via says, just stay away from people. Marianne Barnes says, not working on YouTube. Actually, the broadcast is working on YouTube. Just a reminder, this is on Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube. There are 2 YouTube news channels. There's Agenda Free TV 1 and there's Agenda Free TV 2. This is Agenda Free TV 2. See, it's live there. So if you like Agenda Free TV on YouTube, you might want to subscribe to Agenda Free TV 2 because on YouTube only, there's 2 different channels. We're going to read more about this new strain. Give me a shout, @Lookner on Twitter. Peacenik the Leaf says, thanks for coverage of UK variant. If it is 70% more transmissible, it will spread to more people, therefore it is likely more serious illness will result. Well, so what Peacenik means is if more people get it, right, then if it's just as harmful as the other variants, then overall numbers of serious illness will rise. Fine. But the point is, I was making before, is there's no evidence that this strain is more likely to give a particular person a serious illness, right? There's no evidence that this strain is more harmful to on average to each person or more deadly. Thank you, Peacenik, for writing it. Sebo says, hi, I'm from the UK. It seems many people are disappointed they won't be able to see their family over Christmas. I wonder how many people will ignore the new tiers. It's a fair question. I have no idea. I don't know in the US how many people are going to ignore public health recommendations and get together with family. That's a fair question. I have absolutely no idea. None at all. Justin Dyer says trains in London are full tonight, including Eurostar's trains. The train is out of the box. I saw somebody post something about that, but I couldn't verify it. Let's see. Here it is. Look. Daily Mirror. Chaos as hundreds cram onto last trains out of London before Tier 4 hits. Sorry, I gotta be careful. I want to have a volume here. Photographs and video footage from London's biggest train stations show crowds of people with suitcases and a worrying lack of social distancing. Chaotic scenes have been captured at London's major train stations as hundreds cram onto the last services out of the capital before Tier 4 rules hit. This afternoon, Boris Johnson announced stricter measures for the Christmas period after pressure to act on rising coronavirus cases. Cancelled Christmas in the sense of people in London and Southeast England cannot mingle with other households now on Christmas. Okay. Hundreds are trying to flee the capital ahead of midnight. It says here, Tier 4 residents living in London and parts of Southeast England must not leave their area. But that starts at midnight. Hundreds are trying to flee the capital ahead of midnight. Photographs and video footage from London's biggest train stations show crowds of people with suitcases and a lack of social distancing. One woman at St. Pancras tweeted, as expected, train is crammed. Announcement on tannoy says social distancing will not be possible due to volume and to get off if you are not comfortable with that. I mean, these people seem to be social distancing some in this picture. There's the scene at St. Pancras, London. See if I can find also. I wonder if there's like Instagram footage. Snap Maps footage. Here, train station. 7 hours ago. No one. That's 1 day ago. That's not today. I was seeing if there was any posts from today, but I don't see any from today. 2 hours ago? Okay. Maybe I can find some on Twitter. Harriet Clugston posted this. She's with Data and Investigations editor. I guess this is legit. I can't totally confirm this, but I can't confirm the video, but I'll show you what it says. She says last train out of Saigon, line at St. Pancras Station, that's in London, as we wait to board the Leeds-bound train. That's a couple hours ago. St. Pancras International Railway Station, London. This is her video. She says, as expected, train is crammed. Announcement on tannoy says social distancing will not be possible due to volume and to get off if you are not comfortable with that. Everyone, of course, has suitcases. People have tried to secure social distancing by placing on seats, but being asked to remove them by other passengers as the train is so full. To make matters worse, we've been told this train will be taken out of service at Derby. We will all get off and board a new train, no doubt mixing the virus amongst ourselves as we reorganize with new seat partners. She also says every person on this train, including myself, has made what is probably a very silly and irresponsible decision to travel, albeit within the law. But that's what people were always going to do to be together at Christmas. My mother lives alone, and there's no way I could not be with her at Christmas. Others will give similar reasons. What's at fault is the handling of this by government. Announce a midnight lockdown at 4 p.m. Obviously, everyone will scramble to leave. That's from Harriet Clugston. Then Chris Shipp, who's with ITV, posted this. If they didn't want this new variant to get out of London, it's just found a possible new route. It's called the train line to East Midlands from St. Pancras Station tonight. So, as one of our viewers wrote in about, you have this new strain is concentrated in London and southeast England. But now you have a lot of people getting on trains tonight before the new lockdown in London and leaving London and going to other parts of the country. Ed Tollett, who is in the UK, says, I'm convinced that talk of this new strain and now the Southeast Tier 4 regional lockdown is setting us up for a January national lockdown in the UK. That's what Ed Tollett says. Oh, Francisco Fernandez also sent me that tweet about the people trying to lead, a tweet about people from Harriet Clugston, too, that we showed. Thank you, Francisco. Just trying to find any other footage out there. Harriet Clugston, who is on a train going out of London, says, train delayed because of overcrowding. Social distancing not possible, so wear a mask at all times is the message. She posted this about an hour and a half ago.
And continued the journey to Chesterfield, Sheffield, Wakefield, Westgate and Leeds, due to arrive Leeds 23:08. I do apologise, we have been delayed departing from London St Pancras today, approximately by 10 minutes. This is due to overcrowding problems.
So they really did announce on the train that they were delayed due to overcrowding. Okay, so let me show you some more about this new strain. Okay, you can write to me on Twitter, @Lookner, by the way. Hey, thanks for your support, Mr. Showtime. Thank you, Mr. Showtime, for your support. Mr. Showtime says humans are a danger to themselves. So you can see here, what is the new strain and will vaccines work against it? Scientists don't expect the new strain to cause more severe disease or be more resistant to the vaccine, or be resistant to the vaccine. It just seems to spread faster. This is from The Guardian. Viruses mutate all the time. Most of the new variants die out. Sometimes they spread without altering the virus's behavior. Very occasionally, they trigger dramatic changes. And the question now facing scientists is straightforward. Does the new variant in the UK, VUI 2012-01, fall into this last category? Does it represent an increased health risk, Or has its recent rapid spread through England occurred because it has arisen in people who are infecting a lot of other people? Blah 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 blah. Oh, this is like an old article, or no, isn't it? No, it's from today. It says yesterday the government's chief medical officer said, as a result of the rapid spread of the new variant, blah 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 blah. In the UK, the new and emerging respiratory virus threats advisory group now considers that the new strain can spread more quickly. Let's see here. What scientists must now tackle are concerns about the impact of the new variant, in particular whether it will lead to an increase in cases of severe COVID illness or actually result in fewer cases of severe COVID illness. The other big issue is whether the new variant whether the vaccine won't protect from the new variant. This specialist said if the new variant was going to have a big impact on disease severity, we would have seen that by now. Hospital cases of a proportion of numbers of infections would have either rocketed or dropped dramatically. Neither has happened. So this specialist says, look, if this new strain either gave people what was a lot more likely to give you severe disease or a lot less likely to give you severe disease than previous strains, we would have seen that in the numbers. But the numbers aren't showing that, which suggests that this new strain isn't really more or less dangerous in the sense of being more or less likely, significantly likely to give you severe disease. Also, this specialist said the vaccines have been tested with many variants of the virus circulating, so there's every reason to think that vaccines will work against this new strain, though obviously that needs to be tested. Where the variant first appeared is not known. It may simply be that Britain's extremely robust virus surveillance system spotted it before other nations did. Let's see here. Give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner. Mr. Marvell says, I'm in the southeast, live right near London, and I've had the virus already back in March, but I am very concerned. Just trying to support as many people as I can. It's a big blow. Sarah Joy says, if the virus changed in the UK, it will change elsewhere. I'm sure it's in the US. Well, so the virus is changing all the time around the world. Most of the changes don't really significantly affect how it behaves. But as to this virus, this new strain, it's been found in 2 other countries. Mostly it's in the UK, though, but who knows? I mean, maybe it's in a bunch of other countries and they just haven't found it yet. Thank you, by the way, to Francois Johnson, and thank you to Lynn Downey. Thank you both, Francois and Lynn, for your support and for the stickers. Love the stickers. Thank you. Oh, I got to open up our other chat rooms here so I can peek in them. Hey, thanks to our mods, by the way. We got Sarah55 modding and Sarah Joy in our YouTube chat room. Thank you. Thanks also to our Periscope moderators. Misha is there moderating. Thank you. Also, in Texas Legends, Brian. Thank you. Thanks also for the Super Hearts, Lee Garside and Globot. Thank you, Globot and Lee Garside, for the Super Hearts. Thanks also to our Twitch and Facebook moderators. Terriag and Daily Disclosure are moderating on Twitch. Thanks to our Facebook moderators, too. Okay, let's show you a little more information about this, what's going on in the UK. Sky News says, Christmas cancelled for millions. London and most of southeast England to enter into Tier 4 lockdown tomorrow because of this new strain. Oh, I found a good quote by the new strain, by the way. Let me show you that first. If I can find it here. I found a good quote. Oh, I don't know if I can find it. Give me 1 second here. I'm just trying to find. I thought they had like a live updates thing where they had this quote. Can't find it now. We'll go to the Sky News story. Millions of people, over 16 million people across southeast England will no longer be able to mix with other households at Christmas, with a new Tier 4 level of COVID restrictions to come into force tonight at midnight. This dramatic move was prompted by fears over a new strain of the virus. All of those areas currently in Tier 3 in the southeast, including London, will move into Tier 4 at midnight tonight. And for the rest of England, the planned 5-day easing of restrictions over the festive period would now be limited to a single day. Okay. Pictures on social media on Saturday evening showed large crowds at London's St. Pancras train station as people tried to leave the capital before Tier 4 came into effect. Sir Patrick Vallance, the government's chief scientific advisor, said that by December, over 60% of infections in London had been the new variant, which is thought to have emerged in mid-September. It's thought that this new strain emerged in mid-September. So, one of our viewers had said, will people in the UK, respect these regulations about not mingling, either not mingling with anyone or not mingling with, more than the recommended number of people over the holidays? I have no idea. Our viewer Terry says going to be a worse spike in 2 weeks, but, it's certainly a concerning time there. Do they have something about the new strain here too? Is the new coronavirus mutation worse than first thought? The strain may be up to 70% more transmissible and brings an unusually large number of changes. This is from Sky News. A new variant in the UK that is believed to be behind the faster spread has been described as a real cause for concern, but it's not the first time the virus has mutated. Yeah, the virus mutates all the time. What do we know about it? Is it more transmissible? Yes, it seems so. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the new variant strain may be up to 70% more transmissible and could increase the R number by 0.4. I read an article today, I don't know if it's this article, I read an article that said if it's really true, the R number is the average number of people who, when somebody gets the virus, the average number of people that person gives it to. So if the R is above 1, you're going to get growth in the overall number of people who get the virus. If for every person who gets it, they give it to more than one person, if it's like 1.5 or whatever, anything above 1 for R, that's going to cause the virus to grow and the number of people to have it to grow in the population. And I read an article that said if it really does increase the R number by 0.4, that would mean like even a full lockdown. That would mean that the number of people with the virus would grow over time. The total number of people on a given day would grow over time, even if you had a full lockdown. Like that's a very large increase. This new strain is responsible for 62% of the cases in London. The chief scientific advisor, Patrick Vallon, said an unusually large number of variants, 23 different changes have been identified with this new strain. Does it make people more ill? There's no current evidence to suggest that. So far, experts have not found any variants that could make a vaccine less effective. Professor Whitty said, as of now, there's no evidence to suggest the new strain affected vaccines and treatments. Give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner on Twitter. Hey, thanks to Mermaid Fishing Co. I appreciate it, Mermaid Fishing Co. She says, it may not make you sicker, this new strain, but it is more dangerous if it spreads faster due to overflowing hospitals. Yeah, certainly if it causes more people to get it, that could have bad effects. I agree with you there. Thanks also for your support, Karen Moir. Happy holidays to you as well, Karen. Thank you, Karen Moore. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And also, thank you so much to Lise Silderin. Thank you, Lise Silderin, who I think is maybe in Norway. Wow. Thanks for your support, Lise. Much appreciated. So I am really interested in seeing this new variant. Are we going to start seeing it in other countries? Now, I don't know the exact travel rules. I can't imagine that many people are going back and forth between the UK and other countries right now. I don't know all the countries' travel rules. I don't even know in the US what people from what countries are coming in here. I'm sure it's difficult to do, and you might have to quarantine or whatever, but, you know, it will be interesting to see if it starts popping up in more countries. Gary says, oh, big deal. I'm from Glasgow, and we have been in Tier 4 for a month, then got moved to Tier 3 for like 2 weeks. Now being moved back to Tier 4. London got it easy. Thanks, Alan135792, for the super heart, by the way. I appreciate it. And Miss Misha, thanks for the super hearts. Okay, so that's a story we are going to be keeping an eye on. No question. It is concerning. Oh, and thank you, Lars Anderson from Sweden. Thank you, Lars. Much appreciated, Lars. Thank you. Sarah Louise Bramhall says the same strain is also in Scotland. That's what Sarah says. Let me look that up. Let's see here. Let me find something for you about this. The First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, didn't she post about this today? She said, I know this is tough, so Scotland is in the UK, but it's also its own country. She says, I know this is tough, but this new virus strain is spreading much faster, so we must act quickly to stop it taking hold. That means even tighter restrictions in Scotland through January to prevent the serious situation currently faced by places like London and save lives. It's especially tough at Christmas, but don't visit other households indoors unless you really have to, and if you do, unless for caring responsibilities, it should only be on Christmas Day. Staying physically apart this year is the best way to protect those we love. She says, and while it's hard to see it right now, the light at the end of the tunnel is still here. With every day that passes, more people are getting vaccinated. I don't know if they've put in new restrictions in Scotland. I saw an article saying they were thinking about it. Let's see. Oh, here, look. Now, there's this, I can't play this video. It says, Nicola Sturgeon imposes Scotland travel ban as new COVID strain leads to cases rising. Nicola Sturgeon has imposed stricter restrictions, including a travel ban for people leaving and entering Scotland during the festive period after a new strain of COVID led to rapidly increasing cases in the south of England. She said Christmas Day mixing will still be allowed in Scotland only if essential, and the new measures were imposed as a preventative measure. Martha Doria says nothing is shut down in the States. I stay home. There are some places with things shut down, but a lot is open, certainly. Yeah, here's an update about Scotland, too. Hang on. This is from The Scotsman. The First Minister of Scotland announced that the Scottish government will abandon its planned relaxation of restrictions over Christmas. She said travel between Scotland and the rest of the UK would be banned after a surge in cases of a new coronavirus strain, which spreads up to 70% faster than other versions, was identified in South Wales, London, and Southeast England. I don't know that that new strain is in Scotland. She said very firm preventative action was required to ensure Scotland is protected from the new strain. So if we look at a map here. No, I just want a map. I don't want this. So there's Scotland here. There's Scotland, and the new strain is concentrated in this area, southeast England, including London. Gary says it is in Scotland. Pretty sure they found like 9 cases. I'm not sure either way. Groboclone heard that there have been 17 confirmed cases of the new strain in Scotland. I wouldn't be that surprised, given that it's been in England for months. Ooh, look, I got it. Manchester Evening News. They said it in their in the tweet. New mutated COVID strain has spread to Wales and Scotland. Manchester Evening News. Seize the Day said she said 17 cases found in Scotland, but feels that's low number. She held briefing today. Oh, look, here it is. Dan Vevers. 17 confirmed cases of new COVID strain in Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon tells emergency press conference, although adds this is likely to be an understatement. Justin Dyer says Wales shutting down as well. Wales also a country, but part of the UK. There is Wales. Wales brings forward lockdown in face of new virus strain. Scotland has banned travel to and from England, and new measures were brought forward in Wales, leaving all the devolved nations of the UK now facing severe restrictions over the Christmas period. Northern Ireland, technically a country. Is that one of the devolved nations? It's variously described as a country, province, or region, which is part of the UK. That is from Wikipedia. Caesar Day says, my family live in southeast London, so I follow the news there. I watched the Boris and Scotland briefing today. So I've not heard of this new strain in the US. We'll see what we hear. Salvatore says, no lockdown here. Oh, Lisa Cushman's moderating too in Periscope. Thank you. Kevin 29 Palm says, will the vaccine work on the new variant? There's no evidence now that it won't work on the new variant, but we'll have to see. Di Reed says, my son just came back to Ireland from Glasgow. Hopefully he hasn't gotten the new strain. Now, HMB reminds me, and Lulubella, we talked about this yesterday, there's another new strain in South Africa. We talked about this yesterday. Eric Topol said, while the adage is that all pathogen variants are innocent until proven guilty, the fact that there are two new variants in the UK and South Africa, both with this spike protein and both with apparent heightened transmissibility, is worrisome. Dr. Emma Hodcroft posted, is the new UK variant the same as the new South African variant? No, they both share the same mutation in spike protein. However, they have origin separately. Looks like she knows what she's talking about. Okay. She says, will it impact the vaccine? I don't think we know for sure yet. Hopefully not. The vaccine causes your body to recognize many parts of the spike protein. So a few changes in the spike protein in the new variants should not mean it stops working. However, impact of more changes is less sure. Scientists investigating this now. See if I can find some other posts on this. Then we'll talk about the South Africa variant too. We talked about that yesterday a bunch. South Africa thinks their new variant might be worse for younger people. Yeah, we were looking at this yesterday. South Africa's second wave is fueled by a new strain, teen rage festivals. Where is the thing about the new strain here? On Friday evening, South Africa's health minister announced that researchers had discovered a new strain similar to one found in Britain this week that had seemed to affect young people more than strains that had previously been circulating. He said that they had some evidence, anecdotal evidence, which means basically people saying this is going on, but it's not a result of an organized study. They have had some doctors, people who work in clinics, noting they are seeing a larger proportion of younger patients with no comorbidities, so with nothing, healthy younger people getting critical illness. The evidence strongly suggests that in the current second wave we are experiencing is being driven by this new strain. That's South Africa, so we'll have to wait and hear more about that. Let's see, South Africa identifies new strain causing surge in cases. That's from Reuters. Rid Comics says the vaccine may have to be tweaked just like the regular flu vaccine. Each year this COVID is going to be around for a while, sadly. Darren says, do they know what might be causing the new strain? Viruses naturally mutate. It's natural to a virus that they don't replicate perfectly, and there are these mutations when they replicate. That's the way viruses are. So a lot of the time, those mutations don't really matter. But once in a while, just by accident, you get the virus mutating, and the new form of the virus can be worse. So it's just dumb luck. Soulful Music says, I listened to Boris Presser today. They believe they identified the new strain as far back as September in Kent in the UK. Miss Misha asks about the Teen Rage Festivals thing. Yeah, and that Washington Post story about South Africa, they talked about like a bunch of like college-age kids getting together. It's actually kind of crazy. Like a few thousand, like 3,000 college-age kids got together, and like 1,000 of them have tested positive. This is South Africa. It says, in a beach town last week, more than 3,000 17 and 18-year-olds went ahead with a huge week-long graduation party, and more than 1,000 of them have since tested positive. Hundreds more refused to get tested or gave wrong numbers to contact tracers. So that's not good. Some officials have called that a super spreader event. But we'll just have to see what the research says. I mean, hopefully we don't hear bad news about the new strain being less likely to. We hopefully won't hear any news that the virus doesn't work as well on the new strains. All right, you can let me know your comments at Lookner on Twitter. Yeah, one of our viewers was talking about this. HMB sent me this. Trevor Bedford said, we may see modest reductions in vaccine efficacy due to antigenic drift, and we will likely need a process in the coming years by which we update the spike variant used in the vaccine to best match circulating viruses. He also said, there has been an open question to the degree at which the coronavirus will behave like influenza and require vaccine updates. However, emerging evidence suggests that antigenic drift is likely. Nicole Wilson sent me this. Apple shuts stores in California and London as COVID surges. That's from Bloomberg. I think a bunch of stores were probably closed in California anyway because of the lockdown stuff there. Apple didn't say when they would reopen. Okay. All right, so we'll talk some more about that, and we'll keep covering that, and we'll come back to the virus. There's some other stuff I want to talk about, too. Again, you can send me comments, or if you see anything new, write to me on Twitter @Lookner. Hey, thanks, Arizona Jumper, for your support. Thank you, Arizona Jumper. This is our news roundup. We are talking about some different stories, big stories today. We're taking your comments on the air. Give me a shout on Twitter @Lookner with your comments. Misha says, I can't even walk outside my door in Florida. My neighborhood is so busy every day, night. Chapel Hill says, cover Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gone way up. Bitcoin is going crazy. It's gone up like 600% this year. Look at 23,936. It was back in March. It was, I think it was even lower than this. This says it was at 5,000 in March. I thought it was like 3,000 something in March. Maybe I was wrong about that. Bitcoin price rally near point of exhaustion, warns market timing expert. Bitcoin is this digital currency. So if you have Bitcoin, you can, like in theory, send it to anyone around the world. There's various other things about it, but I won't get all into that. But a lot of people also invest in it, like as like a speculation, because they think the value will go up. Bitcoin surged to unprecedented levels above $23,000 is on Thursday. Is being met with much ballyhoo on Wall Street, but at least one technical expert warns the popular digital currency could be primed for a pullback. It's from MarketWatch. Now, if it becomes more established and more people and countries start using it, that could, boost its price, I would think. This Markets Insider says Bitcoin's market cap could hit $1 trillion as its growing reserve currency status drives adoption higher, a cryptocurrency expert says. Major institutional players have acknowledged that Bitcoin is not only going away, but becoming a reserve asset. So I'm certainly not an expert in Bitcoin investing, but it has gone up a lot this year. I mean, there's been other times when it went up a lot and then it went down. So if you look at there's 5 years. So back in 2018, it was near 20,000, I believe, right? And then it went down to 3,600. Carol Reed says, I remember when Bitcoin was 200. Here's another article. You can find different articles that say different things. Markets Insider, Bitcoin is in a massive bubble and investors don't understand how its supply works, says economist David Rosenberg. David Rosenberg told Bloomberg he believes Bitcoin is in a bubble and investors don't understand how its supply works. That's a video there. This economist said, you speak to most people that are asking me to put money in Bitcoin. They can't even tell you who the person was that developed it or how it, or even how it's actually mined. It's just a classic follow the herd, extremely crowded trade. It's in a massive bubble. So he thinks a lot of people investing in Bitcoin don't even know what it is really. And are just investing in it just because they see it going up. Bitcoin's rally comes as several institutional investors and fund managers place sky-high predictions for the coin. On Wednesday, this, investment officer said Bitcoin will surge to 400,000. Who knows? He said the last time Bitcoin behaved with such a speculative fervor, it suffered massive disappointments in the months to follow. Bitcoin bulls say that 2020's rally is different because of institutional inflows. Institutional investors would be like these large investors. Gustavo, our viewer, thinks it's a bubble. I can't tell you what to think. That's up to you. I also, with Bitcoin, it's the one thing I can say is whenever I try to read articles about it, you can find all these different articles like claiming like totally different views about what's going on in the market. It's like very unclear what's actually going on in the Bitcoin market. I always find that when I try to research Bitcoin, like who's buying it and why is it going up. Saranya bought some when it was 1,500. Deb LaCour says, I have been trading crypto for 2 years and I am just now making money. Mac the Liar says, do people really know the chemical composition of gold or who mined it from the ground and with what tools? No, they only know its value is high. April Coco thinks it will crash. Yeah, so that's a whole area that I am not very familiar with. Okay. Well, we talked about Bitcoin a little bit. Hello, Barbara Danko, watching in the Facebook chat, and Puglove. How Lucky says, I bought 4 Bitcoin for $3,200 in 2018 and lost money on it. I guess you don't have them anymore. Shamai Mudin thinks digital currency are a fraud. Oh, I wanted to show you something else that I thought was interesting. Hang on a second here. Yeah, this is something keeping an eye on too. You know, there haven't been like a ton of allergic reactions to the vaccine, but people taking a vaccine and having an allergic reaction can happen with vaccines. There can be an ingredient in a vaccine that people are allergic to. So right now, this is the latest one I saw. It says FDA investigating 5 allergic reactions after people get the Pfizer shot in the U.S. So again, this is something that's anticipated it will happen, but it's certainly worth keeping an eye on. FDA is investigating around 5 allergic reactions that happened after people were administered the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine. The FDA official said the allergic reactions had been reported in more than one state, including in Alaska. He said that a chemical called polyethylene glycol, that is an ingredient in the Pfizer vaccine, as well as the Moderna vaccine, could be the culprit causing the reactions. He said that allergic reactions to BEG could be somewhat more common than previously understood. I believe in the U.S., the rules are that when they give you a vaccine, they're supposed to have you sit there for at least 15 minutes, at least the COVID vaccine. I know with other vaccines there's something like this too, but with COVID vaccine, it's like you have to sit there for at least 15 minutes and somebody observes you to make sure you don't have some kind of reaction to it, negative reaction to it. So, but, there could be a chemical, perhaps one of the ingredients is something that people are allergic to. Maybe they've never been exposed to it before, or, and it just, they get it in the vaccine and it triggers this reaction. So something worth seeing how often this kind of thing happens. Oh, thank you, Saranya. Saranya says, sign up for Brave browser so we can donate Brave tokens to Agenda Free. Is Brave Bitcoin or is it something else? The thing is, I have to look into it. People had asked previously if they could donate Bitcoin, and I started looking into it, and it just seemed like a bunch to deal with, and that I didn't really want to, for the amount of Bitcoin people might donate, it didn't really seem worth it for me to start dealing with all of that stuff. But I'll look into it. But, there's a cost-benefit thing. Thank you, Saranya, for your support. And thanks also to Idaho Star. Hey, our Twitch mod Idaho Star. Thank you, Twitch mod Idaho Star, for your support. Happy holidays to you as well. Tux Truck says Brave is a different token worth money. Dave Parkinson said Brave is basic attention token. I'll look into it again, though. It's just, there's so much going on here as it is. I try to keep things as simple as possible. Deb LaCour says, it is super complicated to get started. You are bright enough to do it, but will consume your time. I just remembered about last year at some point, I started, because some people asked about it, I looked into what it would involve to take Bitcoin donations, and I concluded it's just not worth the effort and time. I'm not going to do it right now. But I'll look into it. Beta Centauri says, Bitcoin is awesome, accept it. This story I want to talk, I didn't see this getting that much press. I want to talk about this for a second. I'm going to move on to the hack in a second. I want to talk about this. State Senator Jerry Ralph of St. Cloud, Minnesota, died Friday following a month-long hospitalization. Condolences to his family, by the way. He tested positive for COVID after attending a post-election party with other Republican senators in November. So I guess a bunch of Republican politicians in Minnesota had this party, and then a bunch of them tested positive after. This is from NPR News. Again, condolences to his family. He was 76. He was one of several Republican state senators who tested positive after attending a post-election party. A number of senators contracted COVID after the party at a suburban restaurant. So these Republicans in Minnesota had a party at a suburban restaurant indoors after the election. Anyways, condolences again to his family. Senator Jerry Ralph dies of COVID complications. Daniel Boberson says, yes, I am here in Minnesota. A bunch of them came down with it. Lots of what that went down here. Darcy Hayford says, Democratic leaders have been caught in restaurants at least 3 times with no mask and lots of people. Certainly Republicans are not the only ones who ever have, not followed public health guidance. That's not good, though, that they had this big party. Hang on one second here. Oh, and HMB sent me an article that says from today that says 6 severe allergy cases from more than 250,000 vaccine shots. AP. Health officials are closely tracking possible side effects of the first vaccine. Say they have seen 6 cases of severe allergic reaction out of more than 250,000 shots given. The half-dozen cases of allergic reaction were reported as of Friday night and included 1 person with a history of vaccination reactions. Rain Dancer says the politicians thought they were above it. Skyzer says, why isn't Steve showing up on YouTube? Again, 2 YouTube channels. There's Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2. Some broadcasts I do on YouTube on Agenda Free TV 2. So this is on Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube. It's different. So if you like Agenda Free TV, you should subscribe also to Agenda Free TV 2. I also want to talk about this hacking story. I want to talk about the hacking story. Let's jump. We haven't talked about that in a while. Let's jump and talk to that. Hang on one second here. Give me 1 second here. Hey, I need to take a 1-minute break. I'm going to come back in 1 minute, and we will continue our live coverage. All right, we're back. We are back. Now, this hack, by the way, we mentioned this. We didn't. Late last night, it came out that last night, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, in an interview with Mark Levin, said that Russia was the ones who did the hack. And then President Trump today said it might be China, even though Pompeo said it was Russia. The president ended his public silence hours after his Secretary of State pinned the blame on Russia. It's from Politico. Secretaries of State Mike Pompeo blamed Russia on Friday for the months-long cyber attack on agencies across the U.S. government that security experts have characterized as one of the most significant hacks leveled against the country. Pompeo told Mark Levin, "This was a very significant effort, and I think it's the case that we now can say pretty clearly that it was the Russians that engaged in this activity." That's what Mike Pompeo said yesterday. He was the first administration official to directly pin the attack on Russia. Pompeo said, "I can't say much more as we're still unpacking precisely what it is, and I'm sure some of it will remain classified, but suffice to say there was significant effort to use a piece of third-party software to essentially embed code inside of U.S. government systems, and it now appears systems of private companies and companies and governments across the world as well." So, and there have been experts saying for days that this was the work of Russia. The Senate Armed Service Committee, in a bipartisan statement involving including signed by the head of the committee, who's a Republican, had said the signs pointed to Russia. And Mike Pompeo said last night, told Mark Levin, that we can say pretty clearly it was the Russians. But President Trump, for reasons I have no idea, said today, he tweeted, I'll show you his tweet. Right here. He said, "The cyber hack is far greater in the fake news media than in actuality." By the way, plenty of Republicans are not saying this. I'll show you what Marco Rubio said in a moment. He says, "I have been fully briefed and everything is well under control." We're not hearing that from anybody else. Russia, Russia, Russia is the priority chant when anything happens because lamestream is for mostly financial reasons, petrified of. But Mike Pompeo said it was Russia. He says lamestream media is mostly from financial reasons, petrified of discussing the possibility that it may be China. It may. All right, anyways, Marco Rubio, a Republican, said this today: "Increasingly clear that Russian intelligence conducted the gravest cyber intrusion in our history. The process of determining its extent and assessing the damage is underway. Remediation will take time and significant resources. Our response must be proportional and significant." That's Marco Rubio, Republican. So anyways, plenty of Republicans, including Mike Pompeo, saying it was Russia. But that aside, that whole thing aside, this was interesting. This came out yesterday. This was reported by Yahoo News, Kim Zetter. Hackers last year conducted a dry run of SolarWinds breach. Hackers who breached federal agency networks through software made by a company called SolarWinds appear to have conducted a test run of their broad espionage campaign last year. According to sources with knowledge of the operation, the hackers distributed malicious files from the SolarWinds network in October 2019, 5 months before previously reported files were sent to victims through the company's software update servers. The October files did not have a backdoor embedded in them. We're thinking they wanted to test whether or not it was going to work. They decided to not go out with a source familiar with the investigation told Yahoo News. So the idea is, this report says that 5 months earlier, the hackers did this thing where they used this SolarWinds. Orion is this very popular software used by many government agencies and most of the Fortune 500 companies. And what these hackers did, is they got into they broke into SolarWinds, and then they used SolarWinds because people regularly these companies and these agencies regularly update their SolarWinds software, like you would update your Windows software or your iPhone software, and they used SolarWinds software to get into the companies and the agencies that used the SolarWinds software. But they did a dry run of it. They did like a test. The article says they did a test like back in last October, where they tested out using SolarWinds to get into various agencies and companies, but they didn't really do anything when they were there, and they didn't insert a back door to get in. So once the idea is once they figured out it would work, then they really 5 months later, starting in March, they did it for real. But we've talked about this before. It's some of the things we've talked about, and the U.S. government itself has said that it's a grave threat to, federal government, local governments, companies, and the U.S. Cybersecurity Agency has said it's going to be very challenging for many organizations to stop this. It's because it's ongoing. The idea is, so now you have various SolarWinds customers. They've shut off the way in through SolarWinds, like they install a patch from SolarWinds or something. But just because you've shut off the way in doesn't mean the hackers aren't already there. The hackers have had months and months and months to, figure out how to stay there observing. And so it's from everything we've been reading, it's going to be a huge challenge to get the hackers out. The hackers might still be in these various agencies and companies observing things and doing who knows what. We've read some articles that talk about how you're just going to have to totally revamp these computer systems in various places to basically build it again from scratch, because otherwise there's a risk that the hackers will still be there. Sorry, I have to plug this in. Give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner on Twitter. Buccaneer says they are certainly still on the shadow. Let me also see. Ooh, I hadn't seen this. At least 200 victims identified in suspected Russian hacking. Bloomberg, this came out today. At least 200 organizations, including government agencies and companies around the world, have been hacked as part of a suspected Russian cyber attack that implanted malicious code in a widely used software program, said a cybersecurity firm and 3 people familiar with ongoing investigations. The number of actual victims has been one of many unanswered questions. As many as 18,000 customers who use SolarWinds software received a malicious update that included a backdoor into their systems. But the number that was actually hacked, meaning the attackers actually used the backdoor to infiltrate computer networks, is likely to be far fewer. This cybersecurity firm in Massachusetts has identified 198 victims that were hacked. 3 other people said the inquiry so far has determined the hackers compromised at least 200 victims. Moving within the computer networks or attempting to gain user credentials, what cybersecurity experts call hands-on keyboard activity. The final number could rise from there. Microsoft said a number of cybersecurity companies were hacked. Cybersecurity companies, government agencies, and government contractors were among those hacked. Mr. Showtime says you have to destroy the system or they will be there. Louise says what they can get by hacking is disinfo left there purposely. I don't know about that, but there's this question of what was the target of this hack. If there was one target, there might have been multiple targets, but it's unclear what exactly the target was, if there was a chief target. So we had read a similar article to this yesterday. This is from Fox News. Hacked networks will need to be burned down to the ground. We have a serious problem. We don't know what networks they are in, how deep they are, what access they have, what tools they left. Crazy. It's going to take months to kick elite hackers widely believed to be Russian out of the U.S. government networks they've been quietly rifling through since as far back as March. I think we read this exact article yesterday. Yeah, we read this article yesterday. It's not clear exactly what the hackers were seeking, but experts say it could include nuclear secrets, blueprints for advanced weaponry, COVID-19 vaccine-related research, and information for dossiers on key government and industry leaders. Many federal workers and others in the private sector must now presume that unclassified networks are teeming with spies. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner. Ooh, what happened there?
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Tucker.
Why did that just happen? Why did it just turn on? I did not turn that on. I did not go to that page. That clip just started playing. It literally just started playing. I have no idea why Fox website sent me to that clip. Literally didn't open it. It just popped up and started playing on my page. You are watching Agenda Free TV. We are bringing you live news roundup and taking your comments on the air. We're talking about some of the day's big stories. We're taking your comments on the air. Appreciate you joining. Write to me on Twitter at Lookner. Hey, and thanks for your donations. I really appreciate that. So I've been doing this a bit more lately. I enjoy doing this format. To switch it up sometimes, and I guess some of you really like it too. So hopefully, if I can, if people decide to watch and support the channel while we do these streams, I will certainly do more of them. But write to me, let me know your comments at Lookner on Twitter, and if you do want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv, and big thanks to our mods too. Right now, we have Sarah55 and Sarah Joy in our YouTube chat room. Misha is in our Periscope chat. Texas Legends Brian, too, and Lisa Cushman. And our Facebook and Twitch mods. Idaho Star's been modding in Twitch. Hang on a second here. Tariag. Hey, and if anybody's interested in being a volunteer mod, that'd be amazing. We can always use more mods. Ask the moderators for more information, and they will give you more info on how that works. But that would be fantastic. Oh, and thank you, Joe Ogden. Hey, that's so nice of you, Joe Ogden. Thank you for your support. That's very kind of Joe Ogden. Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated. Also, if you have certain stories like news tips, you can write me about that as well. Jordan Van Wee, please do not repeatedly type the same thing in the chat. Okay. Well, that's it. Enough. Thanks, NorCal Nick, for your kind words. All right, let's check this. John Harvey sent me this. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. So we spent a bunch of time at the start of the broadcast talking about how there's a new strain of the virus mostly in the UK and concentrated in London and southeast UK, southeast England. And as a result of that, Boris Johnson announced that in London and southeast England, they're moving to Tier 4 restrictions, which will not allow people to have anybody from another household indoors. They can't have anybody else over from another household, including on Christmas. And there'll be like a travel ban. You'll not be able to travel outside your region. I can't remember the exact specifics. But that starts at midnight tonight. A bunch of people who wanted to leave and maybe go visit family or something there's videos of them packing on trains to leave before the new regulations take effect. This is a post from BNO Newsroom. It's a video that Harriet Clugston posted. Harriet Clugston posted a bunch of videos from this train station of people there and saying how crowded it was. I believe that's St. Pancras. Oh, and thank you, Arizona Jumper, who likes shirt and tie. Yes, this shirt and tie, I've had this shirt and tie for a while, but I wasn't able to wear it on the air because it didn't really work with the lighting. Thanks to the generosity, very kind generosity of our viewer Chris Lund, we got some new lights recently, which I love and I think work a lot better. And the new lights allow me to wear a couple of shirts I couldn't wear before because they wouldn't look right. So I have had the shirt and tie, but I have not been able to wear it. So again, thank you, Chris Lund, for your support in the lights. They're amazing. Oh, some people have also been asking about the stimulus bill. Where's that at? Here's an update on the stimulus bill. In the U.S., there hasn't been financial support, new financial support in a while. The old bill ran out months ago for people suffering because of COVID. Lawmakers hit major roadblock over GOP plan to limit Federal Reserve imperiling weekend deal for emergency relief package. Both Democrats and Republicans say an issue over the Federal Reserve's authority remains a significant hurdle. I'm just reading this for the first time. This is Washington Post. Senior lawmakers attempting to complete an emergency coronavirus relief package this weekend slammed into a major roadblock today over Republicans' demands to limit the authority of the Federal Reserve. I have no idea what this is about. The impasse appeared to grow significantly wider today, as leadership and rank-and-file senators on both sides of the aisle dug in over the issue. Pat Toomey, Republican, has demanded provisions be included in the COVID relief package that would curb the ability of the Fed to restart emergency lending programs for localities and small businesses. But senior Democrats have balked at agreeing to what they see as a nakedly political attempt to limit the economic tools available to the Biden administration. The Toomey proposal would amount to one of the most significant intrusions on the central bank's autonomy in years. I am not an expert on all this stuff. But the intensifying dispute threatened to derail delicate negotiations for a nearly $1 trillion relief package that would provide hundreds of billions of emergency aid to the unemployed and small businesses, funding for vaccine distribution and healthcare facilities, and another round of stimulus checks to millions of Americans. Several emergency programs protecting tens of millions of Americans are set to expire in days. Congressional leaders had given themselves until Sunday midnight to close out talks. I don't know if that's happening. Well, so no stimulus bill yet. Joanne says, while they bicker and people go hungry and cold. PK Bub Booblet says deficits matter again. See if I can find any more updates on this. Here, stubborn Fed feud freezes stimulus talks. Negotiations on a nearly $1 trillion coronavirus relief bill have come down to a single major sticking point, but neither side is giving in. Senator Pat Toomey, Republican, wants to curb the Federal Reserve's emergency lending powers. As to why he's trying to do this now and not previously, I'm not sure. Is it just because Joe Biden's going to become president? I do not know. Some senior lawmakers are already predicting the negotiations could slip into next week, potentially necessitating another stopgap funding bill to help keep the government open in the meantime. Lawmakers have warned they could be voting right up until and possibly past Christmas. Toomey's language would wind down the Fed's emergency lending programs established by Congress in March, aligning with Mnuchin's plans to cut off the programs. But Toomey also seeks to prevent the president next year from establishing similar programs, which Democrats would say would tie Biden's hands during a time of economic uncertainty. Tom Blockchain Edison says, I think it's wrong they call disaster relief stimulus. Not Cupcake says, I won't be mad if I get another stimulus. I can use a new laptop. So I guess that's the latest on the stimulus talks. Lai Lubella, by the way, sent me this article I believe this is a UK publication, Chronicle. Coronavirus masks may be needed until fall 2021. I think in the US it's going to be longer than that. Oxford University professor Richard Moxon admits he's concerned about how fast the jab can be rolled out, meaning masks can be maybe a common feature for much of next year. I mean, in the U.S., the figures I've seen say that only like 30% of the population would be vaccinated by the end of March, roughly. Strikers Boxing Club says, USA going under lockdown when Biden takes office. It's up to the localities. It's not going to be up to Biden. Little Boo Radley says, second stimulus check coming? We'll have to see. All right, enough of George McDowell's nonsense. Gosh. All right, George McDowell's done. Go take it to another page. Take the crazy to another page, not here. Enough. Gosh, ridiculous. Oh, NorCal Nick, you looked into becoming a mod? NorCal Nick? Cool. So I guess you are in discussions with that, as long as you guys are talking to each other. Thank you for looking into it. Okay, let's jump around here. I haven't even been checking what's been going on with the virus like today in the U.S. I can look and see. I've been looking at some other stuff today. I mean, it looks like from Worldometer, you can at least have over a couple thousand deaths again in the U.S. today. I don't know. Some states haven't reported yet. But, oh, you know what I saw that was interesting? I saw that West Virginia, I saw an article that West Virginia was now the state with the third highest rate of increase in cases. Metro News, West Virginia COVID spread moves to third highest in U.S. Tennessee is one of the highest too. So that I hadn't been aware of. Angie Townsend says, I'm poor. I'm looking forward to the $600. I'll be able to eat more often than every couple of days. Look, there's a lot of people who've been struggling. I think it's terrible that Congress hasn't has let the assistance lapse. Terrible. Jeff says West Virginia has the oldest population in the country. A couple of our viewers said a lot of Congress got vaccinated today. I don't know about that. Let's see. One day ago, members of, no, that says to get. I don't know if it happened, how many people got it today. let me know. If you see anything on that. I have some other things I wanted to talk about too. Hold on, I need to get them on the screen here. I don't know if you'd seen this story. Super spreader Santa. Super spreader Santa blamed for corona outbreak at Belgian care home. It is thought 75 people tested positive at the Belgian care home. This is from last week. I never saw this. I just saw it in the past day. It is thought 75 people tested positive at the Belgian care home following the Christmas visit. Sky News. A super spreader Santa has been blamed for a large outbreak of coronavirus at a care home. Authorities in Antwerp are investigating after scores of residents at a residential home tested positive following a Christmas visit from a man dressed as Santa. The man later fell ill and tested positive for the virus. Initial reports, VRT is reporting this number has hit 75 people, including residents and staff. No, 75 residents. No, 75 residents and staff. This says those who fell ill are only suffering mild to moderate symptoms. I hope that continues. I hadn't seen that. Canadian Sunset says, I noticed that article a few days ago. No, I haven't heard any reporting that the person, Stephen Murray, planned to spread the virus. Little Blue Rally says there was a college football game today in Tennessee against Texas A&M. Did they have fans there? I don't know. Daniel says, but why is Santa visiting a place like this? I think they said they hoped to improve the people's spirits there. It's just having anyone come in from outside. I don't know. So I saw that. Ooh, I also found this. This was an interesting article I found. This is, this New York Times has a list of like the cities with the biggest with the biggest outbreaks going on, with the most people getting, with the most cases, like as a percentage of the population, I guess. So where the outbreak is worse now, this is from New York Times, updated today. Johnny from Sevier County, Tennessee wrote to me. Average daily cases last 2 weeks. You can see they have different towns here: Carson City, Nevada; Yuma, Arizona; Meadville, Pennsylvania; Somerset, Pennsylvania; Inland Empire, California. And then they have where there may be bad news ahead, where cases are rising the fastest. But as Johnny wrote me from Sevierville, from Sevier County. Sevierville is the seat of Sevier County. They're high here too. Anyways, if you want to see this, look this up: monitoring the coronavirus outbreak in metro areas across the U.S. They update that. I don't know if Miami-Dade is on there. I mean, some of these are smaller towns and stuff. So anyways, you can go look at that if you want. Seize the Day says, how can the Olympics still be held in the coming year? Well, look, I mean, you have sports leagues who have, like the NFL and NBA and stuff, and MLB, they've had seasons. Now, some people have gotten it, but one thing they do is they just do a ton of testing, and they totally, and if somebody gets it, they do contact tracing and they isolate people. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Olympics. Maybe, you're going to have some a high degree of testing and contact tracing so you can isolate people who might have it. Here's an article about that. Japan to allow large-scale overseas visitor numbers for Tokyo Olympics, Nikkei reports. Japan Times. Japan aims to admit large-scale numbers of overseas visitors for the Olympic Games without mandatory vaccinations or quarantines. Will that happen? Provided tourists submit negative test results and download smartphone tracking apps on arrival, said the Nikkei Business Daily. At that point, I mean, when is it supposed to start? I don't know. In the summer? Organizers of the games have sold at least nearly 1 million tickets overseas. The plan to allow large numbers of visitors from overseas would underscore the Prime Minister's pledge to revitalize Japan's battered economy by boosting tourism. Sue Baker says, nope, sorry, no sports gathering for us. Daniel Boberson says, not so sure that it's not too soon. But again, if you're going to do that, you got to really be on top of testing people and contact tracing. I mean, I don't like the idea of people getting together like that before the pandemic is over, but they seem to want to do it. Ooh, what's this? Will Summers says, he just posted this, 1,500 plus conservative students have been locked out of a Turning Point USA conference in West Palm Beach over COVID restrictions, and they're getting extremely rowdy. Drew Hernandez, West Palm Beach, posted 9 minutes ago, hundreds of TPUSA attendees chant "Let us in" as the event has reached max capacity. This is not an error by TPUSA. Apparently, the city is only allowing a certain amount of people inside the convention center with armed police officers guarding the door. So I guess I don't see people wearing masks. I see them shouting in possibly an enclosed area. TPUSA is an organization that advocates conservative principles on high school, college, and university campuses, says Wikipedia. So this is going on now, I guess. Oh, here it is. Look, Student Action Summit. Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. Date December 19th to 22, Palm Beach County Convention Center. 2020 speakers. I guess Donald Trump, I don't know if these people all spoke. See, a lot of people were supposed to speak at this. Kristi Noem, Laura Ingraham. I don't know if they all actually went there and spoke. I don't know. But that's going on there now, says Drew Hernandez. That's in West Palm Beach. Just saw that. This was an interesting story here. I'm not going to really talk about it at length, but there's this video game, this huge video game that came out, and they had to take it off. They had to pull it down because of problems with it, called Cyberpunk 2077. It was supposed to be the biggest video game of the year. What happened? Nearly a decade of hype led to a troubled release, riddled with glitches, a livid fan base, refunds for potentially millions of players, and a possible class action lawsuit. I'm not going to really talk about this. I've been seeing a lot of talk about it online. I'm not really up to date with all the gaming stuff. Me So Hungry says that sucks if the young people at that conference can't get a refund. I don't know what the deal is about refunds and what the ticket said. Oh, thank you, by the way, Mac Kobza. That's very kind of you, Mac Kobza. Mac says, thank you for your level-headed, fact-driven news. Thanks, Mac. Thanks for your support and your kind words. It's very nice of you. Matt Kobza, thank you. Ashlad said the game still sold well and got good reviews, still for sale. I don't know what the current status of that is. Cyberpunk game maker faces hostile staff after failed launch, from Bloomberg. Rebellion is in the air at Polish video game publisher CD Projekt SA after the company's highly anticipated and thrice delayed latest title was released to scathing reviews about glitches. The meeting took place. Sony Corp announced it was pulling Cyberpunk 2077 from the PlayStation Store and will offer full refunds to any customer who requests one. It is one of the biggest games of the year and has been a financial success. But players have found the game full of bugs, particularly on the last generation PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles. Tony Nagy says they have to take out the radio music from the game, causing copyright issues for live streamers I was watching. Mac the Liar says the designers of that game had a challenge of adjusting a next-gen game to last-generation technology machines, and it has problems. David DePia says, still love the games. C. Michelle Sparks says, my husband is playing it right now. Wow, a lot of our viewers are familiar with this. I had no idea. Melissa McQueen says that if you don't have PS5 or a competent PC, it's not worth the 7-year wait. Thanks True Blue for the super hearts. Hey, thanks True Blue. That's very kind of you. Has to use up my hearts before Periscope goes away. Yeah, Periscope's going away at the end of March. Thank you, True Blue. That's very nice of you. Shaft says, I got the game, I saw the bugs. I had no idea so many of our viewers were familiar with this game. I wish I had more time. I know gaming is so popular. I wish I had more time to play. I just don't. I'd love to do more stuff about gaming, but it's like a whole... You have to actually play the games. to be familiar with them. It's just a whole other world. Time I don't have. April Coco says, I have watched a lot of streamers play it on Twitch, but you need PS5 or souped up computer, otherwise it's too glitchy. We have a lot of gamers in our audience. Our viewer Brenda Bryant, talking about COVID, says, 100 cases in my small town in 10 days. Nobody is wearing masks. Hey, Duster Singer, thanks for watching. Dylan Page, thanks for the stars. Thanks, NorCal Nick, for the update, by the way. That's great. Thanks also Helen Anderson for the stars, and Brenda Bryant, and Christopher Lohorn, and Sean Keating and Rhonda Fall. Oh my gosh, I think I neglected to thank the people for Facebook stars. Dylan Page, Helen Anderson, Brenda Bryant, Christopher Lohorn, Sean Keating, Rhonda Fall. Thank you. Hey, thanks also April Coco for the support. And the cool sticker, the GG. Is that good going? I don't even know. Yes. GG, going good or good game. Used sincerely in online games such as trivia, but more often sarcastically used when someone has done something foolish. I think April is using it seriously, though. Thank you, April. Ooh. I saw something about Thailand. Look at this. Guardian, health authorities in Thailand reported 516 new cases of the virus on Saturday, by far the biggest one-day jump ever in a country that had previously brought the epidemic largely under control. An outbreak has been reported linked to a shrimp market. Matthew Tostovan said Thailand reported 516 infections out of 1192 people who were tested. Such a high rate of positive cases can only point to there being many more. Most are migrant workers and 90% have no symptoms. John Harvey asks about Christmas Eve. We'll do some kind of Christmas Eve broadcast, either on Agenda Free TV or Lookner. We'll definitely do one. Probably Agenda Free TV. John A, J.A. and PT sent me this. If you're interested in more news about that Google outage earlier this week, you can read this in Bloomberg. Company finds no evidence SolarWinds hack affected its systems. Google diagnosed a widespread outage that knocked out major services earlier this week, such as Gmail and YouTube, as a mistake with its system for identifying people online. You can read that in Bloomberg if you want. Jennifer Tower likes the format. I'm glad you enjoy the format, Jennifer Tower. Cool. Oh, True Blue says, I am on YouTube as All 4 Jewels. I will be there for the super chat. Support Steve. Thanks, True Blue. That's nice of you. R.W. Bill says, hope Christmas Eve it will be on AFTV so we can see viewer pictures like last year. Haymore likes agenda-free TV too. The time, when we do these streams, I find the time goes by faster than I thought it would. We've already been on for like over 2 hours. I didn't realize that. We'll do a few more stories here. Oh, thank you, N. Lee. Hey, thanks, N. Lee. N. Lee sent us an OP sticker. I'm going to have to look up what OP means. Looks like a new kind of sticker. OP? Original poster? What? Look, I looked up this. Online slang dictionary. Original poster, the person to submit post something to a website that permits discussion about that's not what it means. Overpowered? Overpowered? Dark Sarcasm says overpowered. Make says it's a Cyberpunk hippo sticker. Is that what it is? Joanne says overpowered. Everybody's saying overpowered. I'm so out of it. And Lee will say what they thought it meant. Thank you, Ann Lee. Video games, OP, meaning and usage, Screen Rant. OP is an abbreviation of overpowered. It's game slang. Again, I wish I had more time. I really do. I would love to have more time to play games and to go on Twitch and check out the different streamers. I mean, I've checked some streamers out, but it's better if you've seen the games. Like all these streamers, all these popular streamers play this game Among Us, but I don't even have time to like figure out how to play it. So I don't sit there and watch. I'd love to just sit there and watch it and play it and be more familiar. It's a whole other world. Thanks for watching Tammy Watford James, by the way. Sarah Louise Bromhall says you need to get down with young folk. Let me just see here. Oh, somebody had asked about this story about the, this story's been around for a few days. Somebody might have died with COVID on, I think, United Airlines. So, I've been checking up on this. This is an article from today. United Airlines warns passengers of exposure after possible COVID-related death on flight. It's apparent the deceased passenger wrongly acknowledged he had not tested positive or had COVID symptoms before boarding. I'm sure this happens where they ask people and they say, I haven't had symptoms. NBC News says United Airlines is working with health officials to help them contact passengers who might have been exposed to COVID after a man suffered a medical emergency and died during a flight this week. Orlando to Los Angeles. Oh, I didn't know it involved Orlando. I live in Orlando. The flight diverted to New Orleans when a man became ill on the plane. Alan, a passenger on the plane, said she saw the man board the plane with his head down and breathing heavily. Ugh. Less than 20 minutes into the flight, a nurse and emergency medical technician began performing CPR on him. I wonder if they were wearing like PPE. She and other passengers indicated they overheard the man's wife say he had been experiencing COVID-like symptoms. The male passenger had filled out a required checklist before boarding the flight, saying he had not tested positive for COVID and he did not have symptoms. It's apparent that he wrongly acknowledged this requirement, the airline said. Condolences to the guy's family. Pyomai said, how did they know he died from COVID? It says possible COVID-related death. See, it says possible COVID-related death. Oh, Linda is there moderating now in our Periscope chat as well. Thank you, Linda. Linda and Misha are there. Texas Legends Brian, Lisa Cushman. Sarah55, thank you. Sarah Joy in our YouTube chat. Thanks for modding there. Our Facebook and Twitch mods too. Sarah Louise Bromhall says, sounds more like a heart attack. Look, it's possible the person had COVID, but also they could have had COVID and then had a heart attack, right? So it's possible they had COVID but didn't die of COVID. The article doesn't say they definitely died of COVID. I mean, if enough people, there are people with COVID who will die of things. So many people have it that there will be people of it who have heart attacks and stuff. Maybe it was related. I don't know. If he had COVID, that hasn't been confirmed yet. But I guess he did have symptoms recently, and he didn't say, according to the airline, he didn't tell the airline that. You're not supposed to fly with symptoms. Thanks to our Facebook mods and our Twitch mods as well. Idaho Star there and Twitch, thanks. Hey, thanks Dizzy Dale for your support. Thanks Dizzy Dale for your support and the sticker. Thank you. Maria said someone said his wife said he had COVID. Is that true? I have to read another article about it. United Airlines helps to contact passengers after possible COVID-related death. This left to Orlando. Not much about it there. How about this article? People magazine. His wife was allegedly overheard telling paramedics her husband showed corona-related symptoms such as loss of taste and smell. The passenger suffered from pre-existing conditions, including high blood pressure and upper respiratory issues, and was feeling sick leading up to the day of travel, People has learned. Jordan Pope posted on Twitter that the wife of the deceased man confirmed a positive test when talking to EMTs. Yikes, if that's true. Can we find her tweets about this? I don't know if it's her or she retweeted it. I don't know where those tweets are. Maybe that's not Jordan Pope. I don't know. I don't have those tweets. Anyways, I'm sure there's plenty of articles out there if you want to read more about it. Don Pratt says, I'm sorry he died, but what a jerk. Oh, I hadn't seen this. Look, Bushy sent me this. Hey guys, look. Bushy sent me this. And Jonah Ketz. Coronavirus variant first found in the UK, also found in at least one case in the Netherlands. That's this new strain that's spreading fast, that the UK believes is spreading a lot faster than previous strains. Let's see if I can find this. Let me check some Netherlands. Thanks for letting me know about it. Bushy and Joda. Here it is. Oh no. I was looking for like a local Netherlands news source reporting that. See if I can find it. I've looked for a couple. Oh, thank you, Starfire3, for your support. Hey, thanks, Starfire3, who says, thanks for covering the interesting news that I like, in parentheses, COVID. Thank you, Starfire3, for your support. Very kind of you. Oh, and thank you also, Cover Me, who says, glad you mentioned AFTV2 yesterday. I like the Roundup a lot. Have a great evening, all. Thank you, Cover Me, for your support. Yeah, if a lot of people don't know that we have 2 YouTube channels. Now, if you're watching this, you now know that, unless you're watching another platform. But there's Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube. On the other platform, there's just one channel. Linda says, time to stop travel from UK. Last time we were called xenophobic. I don't believe there is. I don't know what. Isn't there no travel right now? I don't know what the U.S. travel restrictions are, but I don't believe there's regular flights going from U.S. to U.K. Yeah, look, there isn't. UK government makes push to persuade U.S. to lift travel restrictions. Sources. This is from yesterday, Reuters. There are entry bans for most non-U.S. citizens who recently were in Brazil, Britain, Ireland, and 26 other European countries. There you go. I don't know where B&O is getting that news about the new strain in the Netherlands. B&O is saying there's at least one case of the new strain in the Netherlands. And they're reliable. Oh, hold on. Dutch government bans air travel from UK due to corona mutation. Louise says, travel restrictions or not, there's no way I'm getting an airplane anytime soon. Eek. But I don't know where the that report is coming from. I believe it's true. I just don't know the source. Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Hang on 1 second here. Do I have... Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm looking at some Dutch sources and I'm not seeing it. Yes, I don't have that story at the moment about the more details on the new strain, a case of that being found in the Netherlands. If you missed it, we spent a lot of time covering the new strain earlier in the broadcast, so you can rewind and watch it if you want. But we spent a bunch of time covering that. Oh, somebody also asked about the whole thing with some of the vaccine hadn't actually been sent out in the U.S. that was supposed to be sent out. Saw an article about that. Maybe I can read that real quick if I can find it here. Let's see. Yeah, Army General apologizes for miscommunication over vaccine shipments. Army General Gustav Perna, who is leading Operation Warp Speed, apologized for miscommunication with states over the number of doses to be delivered in the early stages of distribution. There was a story that came out, there were stories coming out last week of states saying, like, you cut the number you were going to send us. It looked to me like maybe what happened is the government didn't want to... I saw a quote from him where he said, we're not going to send a state a batch unless we have a batch of the second dose to send them a little later. So they don't want to send out everything they have because they don't want to send a first batch out to a state and then not have enough for the second doses that the people need to take. I think that's what maybe happened. I don't have that right here. Let's see here. Yeah. Operation Warp Speed leader takes responsibility for COVID vaccine distribution confusion. The striking mea culpa, rare among U.S. officials in the response to the pandemic, came during a briefing. He said repeatedly he had underestimated the time required to get the vaccine doses approved for distribution to states. But also, I can't find that quote about, to provide states with a continuous supply of vaccines, Operation Warp Speed will not release first doses until it has second doses on hand. Determining how to do so has been a challenge. So I don't know exactly what the issue was. If you want, you can read this article here. Diana says, my husband came home from work today and said a coworker showed up and told everyone he was positive for COVID, didn't call. Kat says second shot has to come from the same batch number. Is that true? Is that true? I don't know this. I don't know that that's true. Excuse me. Joe Ogden sent me this article about it. Trump's COVID vaccine chief admits delivery mistake. Blah, blah, blah. He said he had given out the numbers of doses based on what he believed would be ready, stressing it was his personal fault. He said, so I guess he didn't realize that the numbers would be different than he initially sent out. Some states were told they would get higher amounts of vaccine than they are actually getting, at least initially. Thank you, Joe Ogden. Okay, well, let me do a last news check here. And see, I'm going to have to eat something soon. That's what I have to do. I have to get something to eat. This is what I need to do. I think it might be that time. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see here. Doge found this article about, I wonder if this says anything, well, I don't know if this says anything about there's a report from BNO Newsroom that somebody in the Netherlands got there was a case of the new strain in the Netherlands. I don't know if this says that. Doge posted this. I think this is just about the United Kingdom flight ban. And this is from the Netherlands. An infectious mutation of COVID virus is circulating in the UK. It is said to spread more easily and faster and is more difficult to detect. On this basis, the British government announced tougher measures, blah, 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 blah. We have revised our travel advice. We recommend any introduction of the virus strain from the UK should be limited as much as possible by limiting or controlling passenger movements from the UK as much as possible. On the basis of this, the Cabinet has taken the following decision. No fly time for air traffic with passengers from the United Kingdom as of tomorrow at 6 a.m. local time. This ban runs till January 1st at the latest. Okay. All right. I think it might be food time for me. I think I might have to eat something now. We're getting to that point. But we might have a stream tonight, maybe on my personal channel, either on Agenda Free TV or my personal channel. I do have a personal channel There is, that's on YouTube. So this channel on YouTube is Agenda Free TV 2. But there's also Agenda Free TV on YouTube. And my personal channel is called Lookner. That's only on YouTube. So we did a stream there last night. So we might do a stream there tonight, and maybe we'll do one on Agenda Free TV. So we'll see. But subscribe to this channel and Agenda Free TV. If you're watching on another platform, it's just Agenda Free TV. But Lookner is a different channel. But subscribe to the channels so you know when we're coming on the air with live streams. I really appreciate you joining for another news roundup. And thank you for letting me read all your comments. I appreciate that. And thank you for sending all the links and helping me cover the news by sending me information. So thank you for that as well. And big thanks to our moderators. Hey, moderators, they are all volunteers. They're amazing. Sarah 55. And Sarah Joy in our YouTube chat. Thank you. Linda Belk, Misha, Texas Legends Brian. And Lisa Cushman have been in Periscope. Thank you. Chef Charles in Periscope says, thanks, Steve. I'll take your order now. My kitchen is still open. Thanks to our Facebook mods and our Twitch mods, too. I know Idaho Star has been in Twitch and others. Oops. Tariag, too, on Twitch. Thank you. Hey, and thanks to everybody who donated, too. That's super nice of you. That is literally how I can do this news coverage, how I can be available full-time to do news coverage and stream. So you are the ones who makes this possible. So thank you so much for your donations. Much appreciated. And thanks for supporting during the news roundup. I like doing it. And if I can pay the bills by doing the news roundup, I look forward to doing more because I do enjoy doing it. But if you do want to support Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2, you can make a donation by going to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But thank you so much for the donations. Very much appreciate it. You are the ones who let me do this. That includes the Super Hearts, Globot, Tanya Phipps, Lee Garside, Misha, Alan Goff. Thank you. And the Facebook stars. Thanks for those as well. I think I got everybody thanked before on that, but I'll double check. Dylan Page, Helen Anderson, Brenda Bryan, Christopher Lowhorn, John Keating, Rhonda Fall. Thank you. Okay. If anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, just ask the mods. They can give you more information on how to be a moderator. That would be great. We can always use more mods. Oh, I should mention the Discord. Hey, there's a new Discord link. Discord is where you can get the best notifications for all my channels by signing up to the Discord notifications. It's free. It's easy. So sign up, get notifications so you don't miss breaking news coverage, you don't miss a live stream. The Discord link, the new Discord link, is it's always at the bottom of the YouTube video description. And the mods can post it as well. I'm going to post it, I'm going to post it in Twitch too. I just posted it in Facebook. I'll post it, excuse me, in Twitch now too. It's a new link as of today. Linda says, I need to get the new link. Linda, Misha says, I'll send it to you. New link. New Discord link. Sign up for notifications. Okay, and on Agenda Free TV 2, make sure if you watch on YouTube and you subscribe, click the bell and choose all notifications. Click that notifications bell, choose all notifications, so you get the notifications. Linda Payne likes my glasses. Oh no, the links. I don't think they fixed Nicole Wilson. The links. I talked to YouTube support about it. YouTube chats are having issues moderators and people who do the channels are not allowed. Normally, we could post links and email addresses in the chat. It's not working, so that's a big problem with YouTube chat. I already messaged them about it last night. So anyway, I hope they fix it soon. But if you're watching on YouTube, just go to the video description. It's in the video description for the broadcast. At the bottom, it gives the link for the Discord. Okay. Hey, thanks to our viewers. Thank you. Oh, Misha posted it in Periscope. Thank you. Chef Charles, thank you for watching. And Debbie, thank you, Debbie5551 for watching. True Blue, thank you for watching. She says, go eat and come back. I got to eat something now. I'm hungry. F-Stop, thanks for watching. Little Boo Radley. And all of our viewers in Periscope, thank you. Oh, Sue Baker, that's very kind of you. Love the sticker, Sue Baker. It actually looks like my chair I'm in. Thank you, Sue Baker, for your support. Thank you. I think Sue's in Hawaii, if I'm remembering this right. Thanks, Sue. And everybody else for your support. Thank you. Thanks, Living Room, for watching. Shea Butter and Twitch. Shaggy, thank you for watching. Skip Foo. Banana Bananu, thanks for watching. Crispy. Blow Me Bubbles. C. Swigum. And all of our other Twitch viewers. Thanks for watching there. Hey, thanks for watching on Facebook. Christian Montoya. Thank you for watching NorCal Nick. Brenda Bryant. Joshua Harmon. Tammy Watford James. Debbie Celli. Darren Thompson. Gretchen Elizabeth. Duster Singer, thank you. Gerard says, what happened to those monoliths? Well, we did a stream on the one in Utah. That got taken away. Then there looked like there were some imitation ones. I don't know what happened with those. But you can check on Agenda Free TV. You can see we did a stream called like Mystery of Monolith Disappearance Solved or something like that. And thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. Thank you. Bill Wonder. Oh, by the way, before I say that, I think I might have to change the name of this because I think, to help pay the bills here, I run ads on the YouTube videos. Before I even started this video today, it said this has limited ads on it because the content might violate like ad-friendly guidelines. Now, this video hadn't even started yet, but that can happen if you have certain words in the title. I think the word Roundup, I think the YouTube auto content observer might see the word Roundup and say, oh, this is not ad friendly. And then what'll happen is I'll request a review, and then like tomorrow I'll get an email that says, oh, this is ad friendly, which has happened with the other videos. And they'll say, after all, but that doesn't help because then everybody's watched the video by then. So I might not be able to use the word Roundup on YouTube. I might have to use a different word. I like the word Roundup, but I might not be able to use it if I want any ad money from the broadcast. I don't know if I hyphenate it, that might help. I don't know if that'll help if I hyphenate it. But that's the only explanation I can give. Like I checked before the broadcast even started, it said like limited ads on this. Well, but the broadcast hasn't even started yet. And I guarantee you it'll eventually be approved for ads. That always is, something like this. But it's just, it must be the word Roundup. So I might need another word I can use. News summary sounds boring, though. It's really like the perfect word. News talk, says NorCal Nick. But News Roundup sounds better. I don't know. I could try hyphenating it. See if that works. I don't know if it's a hyphen or a no, hyphen. Thanks to our YouTube viewers. Seize the Day, Melissa McQueen, Soulful Music. I don't know if Heads Up really works. Starfire. Angel Maracas wants me to use Rodeo. Francois Johnson, thanks for watching. Tony Nagy. 2020 PPV, Dizzy Dale. Denise Horton, Christian Montoya. Lynn Dunn. Darren Markley, Brainy Jenny, Bethany O. Stanley Meistus. Thank you. Nicole Wilson, Kathy Williams. Cranky Poodle. Jan Harker. Macaw Lady, Willow, Cheryl Simpson, Soulful Music, Linda Payne, Paula Faust, Lynn Smith, LJD. Arizona Jumper, Mac the Liar. Kay Gebhardt, Don Pratt. Montpelier. Stephen Murray, Amir Wahab. Oric 3D, Rosemary Randolph, thank you. 3030 Tom Tom, thanks for watching. Daniel Boberson. Joanne M, Nan B, Jade Angel. Laura Chase. Snookerstone said 9 cases of the new strain in Denmark. I hadn't even heard that. I hadn't even heard it. Send me a link on Twitter. I'd love to see that. Jennifer Ferry, thanks for watching. The problem is all of the alternates besides Roundup are either too boring or they don't really convey what's going on. That is the problem. Captain Jack Sparrow, thanks for watching, by the way. Magic Guinea Pig says news round around? Oh, breakdown. Somebody said breakdown. Magic Guinea Pig like breakdown. I don't know if that really works, though. Live afternoon news breakdown. Breakdown sounds like the broadcast is breaking down. Chris Froller likes news bonanza. I don't know. That almost sounds jokey, doesn't it, Chris? I don't know if that sounds very serious. Tony likes world news, like news headlines. News headlines is something. I actually don't mind news headlines. That might be worth a try. News rundown. Rundown isn't the worst. Rundown? Headlines? News wrap? News wrap? News wrap doesn't really sound right, though. Ann says, I like Roundup. I could try, one thing I could try. I could try using Roundup. Technically, it's one word. I could try on YouTube using Roundup as 2 words. News Roundup. Because I think the problem is the system is reading it like people are getting Roundup, which is not what this is about at all. Anyways, now we get all these suggestions. I'll try the hyphen first. We'll try the hyphen first. Yeah, Shea Butter says, I think it is because they think it is the chemical Roundup. So maybe if I use a hyphen, that'll be enough. It's not really a wrap-up, though. Linda says Roundup is perfect. Yeah, I'll Dawes Cat's Rules says news wrap. I'll figure it out. No, I'm not replacing the O with a 0. That looks odd. Okay, it's time, guys. It's time to eat. Tammy says, better eat while you can. NorCal Nick says, news discussion. I don't know. Heather Gray says, hyphenated. All right, we might try. News bash? Okay, that is it. That is it. We're wrapping it up. Hey, thanks guys for watching. We'll do another one of these soon. I'm going to go eat. I hope you have a good weekend. You're having a good weekend wherever you are. And I will post news updates on my Twitter when I'm not on the air. At Lookner on Twitter. Follow me there. That's it for now. Thanks for joining. We'll see you soon with more live coverage. Agenda Free TV to Agenda Free TV. We will have more live news for you soon.